Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas here with you this morning, and we're welcoming Anthony Burwell from Emerge Counseling Services. Good morning.
Good morning, Susie.
For some who may not be familiar with Emerge, just fill us in real quickly about what you do.
Absolutely. Emerge Counseling Services. We are a ministry that provides professional, Christ-centered counseling for adults, children, all over the world. We're located in Akron, Ohio, and people come to us regularly to suit their needs, whether they're suffering from depression or marital issues, from grief, to receive the counseling and therapy they need. We perform everything that we do in the name of Christ, although any person, regardless of their particular faith, are welcome and encouraged to come and join us. We employ 33 clinicians right now, and our numbers have been increasing over the last couple of years. At the end of last year, we would have seen almost 19,000 clinical hours, almost 450 hours each and every week, over 3,000 clients who we serve with love and care to provide Christ to them, to give them the hope and help that they need so that Jesus can give them the healing that they definitely deserve. So it is a ministry that was birthed from Dr. Richard Dobbins and carries on today through our current president and CEO, Mr. John M. Palmer.
When you say those kinds of numbers, that tells me that there is less of a stigma about mental health issues than there used to be. Is that true?
I would tend to agree with that. In fact, one of the things that Emerge has been really focused on is outreach and how much can we do to provide preventative care. We've always been the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. We've provided triage. People have come to us when they've been hurting, when their lives have crashed and they have no other place to turn. But we're really trying to encourage people to allow us to provide fences at the top of the cliff, give them tools that help them carry forward, come and see us before the crisis hits, when there's an inkling. Nationally, we found that it's been proven that 1 in 5 people have a diagnosed mental health issue.
Say that again.
1 in 5 individuals.
That's startling.
In the United States have a diagnosed mental health care issue, some sort of disorder that they've been diagnosed with by a professional. And of course, that's just those that have actually gone and received testing. Here in Summit County and Stark County in Northeast Ohio, we've seen that same impact, perhaps even higher. And so it is incumbent on us throughout our 40 plus years. We've always done this, but really in the last 5 to 7 years, we've just wanted to make sure that we've opened our doors. We've hired more clinicians than we've ever had, more trained therapists. We continue to be a teaching facility that allows for and encourages practicum students and interns to come and learn from us and help with the sheer numbers of people that we're trying to reach. We're never at a loss for clients, never at a loss for referrals, but we are doing our absolute best to try to meet people where they are and know that when they come and see us, they're going to leave changed.
Well, 1 in 5 diagnosed, and then who knows how many undiagnosed.
Exactly.
This says this is not uncommon.
No.
If you had the flu, you would see a doctor.
Yes.
If you are struggling emotionally, get some help. Yes?
Yes. And that can be personally, so you're feeling things inside and not sure how to handle them. Certainly, we see it with our relationships. So if you are in a marriage, we cater to that, but it's also children and parents, it's children and teachers, it's teachers and administrators, it's on your job, it's with your in-laws, with people in the community. If you feel yourself and find yourself having difficulties interacting with people, we're created, Susie, to be relational beings. And so if those relationships, if you hear from other people that those relationships are causing you stress or struggle and you're having maybe some dark thoughts, then that's the time when you need to reach out and speak with someone who is trained professionally. It's great to have girlfriends and accountability partners and even going to see your pastor. But there often comes a point in time when you need to see someone. It's good for us to see someone professionally. And it doesn't mean that you'll have to see that person for the rest of your life or an extended period of time, but whatever help that we can help you to provide is what Emerge is looking to do, and we care about you that much.
You mentioned we often go see our pastor.
Yes.
So then who does the pastor go to? That's what I love about Emerge is
Exactly.
your outreach to pastors. Talk about that a bit.
And we were founded by a pastor. I mentioned Dr. Richard Dobbins. He was a pastor for many years and brought these two disciplines of faith and psychotherapy, if you will, together into what Emerge has become. And we continue to see pastors. Who pastors the pastor? Who cares for that person who has a flock of 50 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, who has leaders and has people in the palms of their hands, the souls of people in the palms of their hands? Who does that person turn to? And oftentimes they turn to Emerge. And I can tell you that, story after story, but one that comes to the top of mind is there was a young pastor who hadn't been in charge for many years. He lost his wife, his young wife. They had 2 young children under the age of 3 at the time of her passing. And he had himself and his entire flock and these young kids at home. And who does he turn to?
Right.
And so he was led to turn to Emerge, and he came and met with one of our clinicians. And after several months, almost a year, he's back in front of the congregation. He's healthy. He is doing what God intended for him to do, the purpose but he needed some help. He needed help getting back on his feet, and who wouldn't under those trying conditions? And, during, as we just passed the holiday season and it's a brand new year, those trying conditions become more and more prevalent and right top of mind in people's minds and hearts. And so Emerge exists to give those leaders, those ministers, those missionaries from all across the world a place and an opportunity to come and speak with us. We have a pastoral helpline that's available for some pastors to call in if they just need prayer, if they just need to anonymously share something that maybe they're not ready to open up to, all the way to the pastor who has had a moral failing and has been separated from his church, but still has the calling from God on his heart and needs to figure out how to reconcile that, how to become restored. And Emerge provides very specific counseling opportunities for those individuals as well. So it is a heart ministry that goes on, and we're glad that we're able to see people, as many people as we are.
There are seasons, aren't there? Like what you're describing there is just a really tough season. And as you said, who wouldn't have a hard time with that struggle? It's not always a person who has a lifelong clinical condition, but often we're just going through something where you just need a little bit of help from a professional.
Yes.
To be able to get you through that and back on your feet. It's an amazing ministry, and you seem to cover the gamut. And I want to swing and circle back to something you said.
Sure.
You have all over the world based in Akron, Ohio. Emerge has become a worldwide ministry, has it not?
We are I say that we are a national and an international ministry. People in distant parts of Asia and Africa know of Emerge. People all across from Washington State to Washington, D.C., from Maine to Florida to Arizona to Texas, and all around, obviously, Akron, Ohio, and across this great state. They know the name Emerge. When they hear Emerge, they recognize what it is that we do, and they're willing to refer people. And it's because we have saved lives, because we have reached people who have gone on to reach more people. And we have trained people in professional therapy and how to help pastors deal with other people's emotions in pastoral care, so that they understand, hey, when I get to this point, I'm going to help you as much as I possibly can. But a point in time will come where you still need to speak with a professional, and let me refer you to a place that does it better than anyone else, to a place that trained me. Or we've put more boots on the ground. We've trained people so that they can do what they do in their own locations. We have satellite offices in churches throughout Ohio, around Ohio. But we see over 2,000 ministers and missionaries alone communicate with them in a given year.
And you're doing a magnificent job of getting that word out. But up until bringing you on board, it's been done very quietly, hasn't it?
Well, and I wouldn't take the credit for that per se, but it has been a quiet ministry. We've been under the radar, if you will, and some of that's been by design.
Yes, that's what it sounded like, just to quietly do the work.
Much of that has been by design, but it's incumbent on us to not be caught in the shadows anymore. The Bible teaches us that obviously we're created to shine as a light on top of the hill, and Emerge has always been a light or the wind beneath people's wings. And so with so many people willing to come out and share their testimonies and share that it is because of Emerge, they give the credit to us, and we give obviously the glory to God in all that we do. But we do want to let people know that how they can support us, how they can help us, how they can become a part of this ministry, walk side by side with us. We recently completed a capacity building campaign to that end called Emerging Hope, which was very successful. We raised a lot of money and resources and time and attention to that effort, and we just want to continue to extend those relationships that we built and draw new people to us to see us and know us.
After the break, we're going to be talking about some great opportunities coming up. But until then, tell us how we can support and help and come alongside you.
Fantastic ways. First and foremost, pray for us. Pray for what we do. Pray for our clinicians. Pray for our team. You can support us financially by visiting emerge.org/donate. And we certainly accept donations of all shapes, sizes, forms, and fashions. But if you're looking for something specific, we have what we call our Broken Hearts Fund, which is a benevolent fund that's available for those individuals and families and veterans who don't have the ability to pay for their care in full or in part. And so after meeting with our clinicians and receiving a recommendation, we can dip into that fund that comes from over 100, almost 200 churches and hundreds of individuals who supply that. So look at it this way. A clinical hour on average costs about $110. So if you're able to give $100 or $110, we say give 110%. If you can give 110%, that's a counseling hour for someone, for a young child who has suffered from bullying in school, or a refugee who English is their second language and they're trying to cope, or a pastor who is, having issues with his wife, and they come together as a team because they know that they need to care together for other people in their community, and they want to make sure that they are sound and strong. And so your gift, again, of any amount is so precious and so heartwarming to us. And we certainly encourage that now and going into the future, doing what you can to help support us.
You just mentioned two issues that seem to really be coming to the forefront right now. One of those is bullying and cyberbullying.
Yes.
And then the other, working with our veterans and post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
How prevalent are these issues now, and are you seeing some great hope at the end of the tunnel?
Well, as long as we're talking in numbers, I'll start with the kids. I mentioned that 1 in 5 number. Here's another 1 in 5 number. 1 out of every 5 of our clients are under the age of 18.
Oh, my.
So we see clients as young as 4 years old. Clients, young kids, young children who don't even have the ability to audibly share what's going on with them. They don't have the language to talk about stress and bullying. All they know is that, and what their parents understand is that my child is not the same as when she was before she went through this situation, or whatever the catalyst is. And so our clinicians are trained to adapt their clinical work, to adapt how they speak, how they talk, how they interact to children of young ages. And the very opposite end of that, working with veterans, is, you mentioned post-traumatic stress syndrome. Well, it was in veterans that disorder was discovered, and it's applicable to all of us, frankly. Any type of traumatic stress that we've been through is going to impact how we interact with the world. And that's all that it is. It's how do we translate our feelings and our conversation to the world, and how do we receive that, and then how does that inform our behavior. And so our clinicians remain trained. They keep updated. They get the latest training from clinical studies and individuals that come in and work with them and give them all the tools that they need to carry forward. And so it is a blessing that we're able to do that. It's a blessing that we're able to reach those particular audiences that heretofore haven't been encouraged necessarily to come and seek the type of help that we support. And again, our increasing numbers and the increasing numbers across all of counseling services bear that out.
We're visiting with Anthony Burwell from Emerge Counseling Services. Going to take a quick break. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.